Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm Jeff Dover. With me is John Barbin. Let's talk football.
Yeah, let's get to it. So this is going to be a talk about what I think is the best division in football is the NFC North, and that's pretty surprising. I think there was a huge question mark about the Vikings coming into the season and the Bears coming into this season. The Vikings, holy smokes, look amazing, even though they were off in week 6. But um, the Bears, I think, are a huge surprise. I know there was a lot of buzz and they were a media darling just because of Williams. And it started off a little bumpy. They had that ugly game where they won the game without even getting an offensive touchdown. And people were like, Williams, it's going to take him a while. He's never going to figure this out. And now he's, holy smokes, is he ever improving game over game? And the jump in improvement is dramatic game over game with Williams.
No, this is a good topic. It's like you said, I don't think anyone would have seen the NFC North coming like this. It's got 4 teams with winning records. Not only that, all 4 teams have at least a 2-game winning streak. And the worst team in the league are tied in the division are tied for at 4-2. So it's 5-0, 4-1, 4-2, 4-2. Like, so it's a great division. And it's, and they're doing it in different ways. And just to finish your point too about Caleb Williams, like you really try it. Fans, in the NFL in general don't have patience, and it's sort of what have you done for me lately, and we have to win now type situation. But Caleb Williams has really improved over 6 games. Like some quarterbacks, like Troy Aikman went 1-15 in his first season, right? So the people sometimes expect too much, but he's getting better each game. And he completed a lot of passes to different receivers this time. That was another sign that was good. He threw for 200 yards. He ran for over 50 yards. Like he's
4 touchdowns.
He's getting better. So that's you're right. The division from top to bottom is really good. The last thing I'll say about it too is the point differential is the best by far in all of the NFL, because all of them have a plus 40 differential difference. So,
and a lot of that happened this past weekend. We're recording this after the Lions completely blasted the Cowboys. So this weekend alone, the 3 teams that were active in the North combined for 116 to 38 point differential. That's just killing people.
That's massive in the NFL. That doesn't happen in the NFL.
Yeah. And it was just, we're covering this division as a thing right now, because this weekend, even though the Vikings were off, the 3 teams that played just dominated who they played against. And it's just showing that things can change kind of fast in the NFL. And I mean, Jordan Love went 22 for 30 for 32, 258, 4 touchdowns. So it's just, and I mean, I didn't even bother recording the stats for the Lions. It's just so off the chart, whatever they did to Dallas. It
did whatever they wanted.
Whatever they wanted, anytime they wanted. So, they were throwing, I mean, they were running hook and ladders and options to linemen. One thing, I think that was an FU to the league for the screw job the Lions got against the Cowboys last year on that terrible play where they said the lineman didn't register as eligible, and it was confusing. So I think maybe that's why they did this here. I just wish they didn't show it, because those plays could be used maybe in the playoffs, and they showed it. But then, you know what? He's probably got 10 more of those. He hasn't shown anyone. So
yeah. No, Detroit had almost 500 yards of offense, 27 first downs. They held the ball for almost 9 minutes more than the Cowboys. They scored in every quarter, right? Which doesn't always happen either. So no, it's the only negative thing you'd say about Detroit is the injury, right? So
yeah, that was really awful.
Yeah, that's the only one, with Aiden Hutchinson getting a broken leg and having the surgery, and so the time frame for him is going to be, it's maybe next year type situation. So
did you get any more information on it? Do you know the reason how reasonable is it that he comes back at full speed after that?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's he broke the tibia and the fibula, I'm pretty sure, and they had a rod inserted, which is never a good sign. That's when it's so fractured in more than one place that they have to stabilize it. So it's not unreasonable to think that, especially when it's the speed and the quickness is such an important thing for that player. It's going to be tough for that to come back, because he's got to be he has to be immobilized for a long period of time, and that's when atrophy happens. Then you have to rehab all that stuff back. So it's going to be a tough rehab, and it's going to be a challenge. And with stuff like this, it's similar to what they talk about with Tommy John surgery. With that type of rehab, because it's so long and over such a long period of time, it's just as tough mentally as it is physically, because you're not going to be able to do what you could do for so long. And that's just a real grind. Like 4 months into it, 6 months into it, you still can't do what, you can't even remember the last time you played football, kind of thing. So it's that's going to be a real challenge. But like, people have done it, and it's possible. It's just going to take a lot of mental fortitude in order to survive.
Yeah, so he's going to be just as challenged mentally as physically on this rehab.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope this whole division can keep it going. It's fun. I mean, has a whole division made the playoffs before? Is that a thing?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know.
I guess
I don't know if
possible, right?
It's almost impossible, because they play each other twice. So you'd have to split a lot of series and then absolutely beat everyone else that's on your schedule. So for example, the Minnesota is, hold on, let me pull it up here. So they're 5-0 right now, but they play the Lions still twice, and they play the Bears twice, right? So it's going to be, they would have to beat like every other team, and then split some of those series, kind of thing. So
so it's highly unlikely they can keep this up all the way through, because they would have to dominate the rest of their schedule, given
right. But
I guess the only way
I'd like to see all 4 teams in the playoff.
It would be cool. It would be cool.
They're great teams. Green Bay had a great game. That type of game is where, like, good teams should handle a not as good a team. You know what I mean? But that's the type of thing where, like, Arizona could have beaten Green Bay. You know what I mean? But Green Bay took care of business. They were really dominant in the first part of the game. They got up to 24-0, and I think it sort of took the foot off the accelerator a bit. But that was, that
game was over pretty quickly.
The game was over quickly, and they played really well.
And they were balanced. They had 250 yards passing, 180 yards rushing. You can't beat a team that can do that.
No.
If they're split like that, it's just, no, you're just not beating them. Same with the Bears, 153 yards rushing. That's enough. That's enough on the ground. There's not much you can do about it. Like, it's and then the Lions, I don't even know what the numbers are. Again, it's Dallas. Wow, what a mess. Anyways, so this division's fun. Who knows? Maybe they can keep it up, split all the games between each other, dominate the rest of your schedule. Let's see all 4 of these teams in the playoffs. That'd be awesome.
That would be good.
All right. Well, anyways, the NFC North, good for you. I think we're going to leave it there for now.
Yeah, just to finish off your point, there's Jared Goff, 18 for 25 for 315 yards, 3 TDs. So very efficient.
He could have had as many more as he felt like that game.
Oh, yeah.
They could have done whatever they wanted.
Yeah, and Montgomery and Gibbs both averaged over 5 yards a carry. So that's, passing, and you can't stop the run, can't stop the pass. So
nothing.
That's going to be a problem.
And and they completely shut the Cowboys down.
Yes. And that's when the offense is that good, you're giving the other team more possessions, right? Because every time you score, the other team gets it back. So it's rare to hold another team below 10 points when you score almost 50, because you're just giving them so many more possessions. But they still did that.
This looked like a college cupcake game.
It did.
Where, I mean,
a really mismatched game. And at Dallas.
The backups are in with 10 minutes to go.
Oh,
that's how bad of a beating this was. So I don't know if this was Campbell, like, we got to make a statement here, or if Dallas is just that bad and Detroit's that much far ahead of them. I think you could say, again, we're only at whatever it is, week 6. I think you could say Detroit has to look like the favorite in the NFC. Now, I don't know how, save for the Hutchinson injury, he's so good. He's like defensive player of the year caliber good. So I don't know what they have backing him up and what kind of production they'll get. It's such a bummer, because if he stayed in, you are kind of looking at, okay, this is a Super Bowl caliber team right now with him in place. So I just hope that doesn't utterly derail their chances.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I mean, I think Minnesota might have something to say about Detroit being the best team in that division, but but you're right. It's, we're going to find out more about that next week, so they play each other. So that'll be good.
All right. Well, that's good for.
But hats off to NFC North.
NFC North. Keep it up.
Great division.